Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jeff Binder. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of CLSH is our symbol. It stands for Cannabis Life Sciences Holdings. I'd like to thank you all for joining me today and allowing me to expose you to our company and what we see is a tremendous opportunity within the cannabis industry. We had prepared a slide presentation. They're having technical difficulties. If you have a pen and piece of paper, I will give you my email address, and anyone who would like a copy of the slide presentation will be happy to send it to you. The email address you should send the request to is Jeff, Jeff, at clslabs.com. Again, that's Jeff at clslabs.com.
Okay, Jeff, I have the slides up. So just tell me to go to the next slide when you want me to move forward on the slides.
Like any company, the most important aspect of the company are the people that are invested in the company, and I mean invested by those are the people that are working on behalf of the public shareholders. The first person that I'd like to describe to you is the cornerstone of the company, and that's Ray Keller. Ray Keller is a good friend. I've been involved with Ray in business for about 8 years now, and Ray is the individual I call my genius. He blushes when I say that, but he truly is a genius. He holds many patents. He is an individual that has worked on the government side. He helped develop filters for the nuclear industry to filter out nuclear waste, among many other accomplishments, including writing the regs for the government for the superfills for toxic waste. Ray is the individual that developed the proprietary extraction conversion method by which we have a competitive advantage, and which I'll discuss in detail later. And Ray is a gentleman of size. He's 6'3", I believe, and I stand on his shoulders. The second individual is Alan Bonset. He's our Chief Operating Officer. Alan has been in the industry for about 8 or 9 years now. He's owned grows, he's owned dispensaries, he knows every aspect of the cannabis business. He's out of our offices in Colorado. That's where his home is and has been. Alan was the person that we approached after vetting several companies with regard to the licenses he had for grow and for extraction to be our partner. At that time, when we agreed to go and form our relationship with Alan's companies, I told him that at some point he would see that the opportunity with CLS would overshadow everything that he had done to date. After working with him for 6 months, we sat down and talked, and Alan basically has taken his assets, put them into a blind trust, and he has come on board as our COO. And that speaks volumes for what we have as far as an opportunity is concerned. The third individual, director, friend for 15 years, is Frank Koretsky. Frank Koretsky owns the largest company with regard to the sale of adult merchandise. Adult merchandise being things that are in CVS, that are on Amazon, that are on the internet, that are on catalogs. And Frank is what I call our marketing genius. Frank manufactures over 17,000 items and distributes over 50,000 items worldwide. Then there's myself. I am an attorney by profession. I went to law school in Washington and worked for the senator from Illinois. I was special counsel of the Senate Finance Committee, practiced law for 6 years in Chicago, and had the good fortune of representing Ray Kroc when he bought the Padres, who was the founder of McDonald's. Ray convinced me to leave the practice of law, and he was my first partner. I've had a varied entrepreneurial career. I built a small cruise line, which we sold to Carnival, which at one time was a public company. I had an HMO in Florida and New Jersey with the Catholic Church as my partner. And I truly see this opportunity in the cannabis industry as the most exciting and the most opportunity in my career. So having said that, let's talk a little bit about the cannabis industry. There are presently approximately 23 states, that has legalized medical marijuana, and 4 states that have recreational marijuana. Forbes magazine this year has said that the cannabis industry is the largest and the fastest growing industry in the United States by double digits, and they expect it to remain the fastest growing industry over the next 5 to 7 years. It is trending to become federally legal. We believe that sometime in the next 3 to 5 years that the federal government will allow for the interstate commerce of cannabis goods, and will tax them and regulate them, and we look forward to that day. In the meantime, it's on a state-by-state basis. Interstate commerce is not allowed, and we will be opening up our first facility in what is the gold standard bellwether state of Colorado. Currently in Colorado, through our licensing partners, we are building a 50,000 square foot grow, which has completed its construction phase, and over the next 2 to 4 weeks, we anticipate we will have our CO and be able to start the grow process. The extraction and conversion facility is under construction, and that should be ready to be operational in the first quarter of 2016. That's next year, and that will coincide with the first cultivation of the grow itself. I like to talk about our company in terms of it being strong and the 4 legs of the chair. Because the chair, to be strong, has to have 4 legs. CLS Holdings USA, the 4 legs of our chair, is the first one. We have a profit motive. I believe a profit motive, especially in a public company, is a very admirable motive. I believe it creates jobs and it creates a viable economy. We have designed our company to be profitable within the first 6 months of its operation, and again, we will be operational as of the first quarter of next year, and that'll be through our extraction and processing. As I alluded to, Ray has created a proprietary method of extracting the various cannabinoids from the cannabis plant. Cannabinoids are things that you may have heard of, such as THC, delta-9 THC, CBD, CBN, and when you process them from the plant, you put it into an oil base, which then can be used for various products. It can be used for medical, it can be used for dietary, it can be used for wax, shatter, e-liquid fluid, and what Ray is able to do is not only derive a higher quantity of delta-9 THC by doubling what anyone else that we've examined is able to do at this time, but he's able to do something called fractionization, which allows him to take the various components and separate them. And Ray has so far identified approximately 85 cannabinoids within the cannabis plant. So that allows us to go ahead then, and once we've separated them, we can put them back into whatever form we want to. whether it's an e-liquid fluid, whether it's an edible, whether it's for medical, and in whatever proportions or potency as required. To our knowledge, other than in the pharmaceutical industry, no one else has those capabilities or are doing what we're going to be doing at this time. That gives us, again, a competitive advantage in two areas. One, the fact that we can produce more of a cannabinoid, delta-9 THC, again, double the amount of anyone else that we tested against. And secondly, we process the entire plant, where other companies process just bud or just leaf. We take everything from the roots all the way through, and the grower does not need to cure or trim their plant. So that gives us a competitive advantage, and it saves them approximately 18 to 22% of their cost. So what CLS will be doing to start with is we'll be white labeling products for other people, and they will give us their plants, and we will do our process, and with that process then we will charge for the process based on what we return to them. So our profit motive, it's a very simple formula. The plant is designed to process up to 5,000 pounds of product per month on a one-shift basis. On a two-shift basis, it can process 2,000 pounds per month. On a very conservative projection, we project that within the first year of being operational, we will be processing a minimum of 1,000 pounds a month. For every 1,000 pounds we process, there is a EBITDA profit of $750,000. So that means within the first year of operation, if you do a one-year projection going forward, that we would do, the profits would be $9 million, and that would be on $21 million of sales. So again, the formula, real simple, for every 1,000 pounds a month we process, the profit is $750,000. So that's our profit motive. The second leg of the chair is to set a gold standard. Ray has been involved for the past 6 years in the e-cigarette liquid aspect, the nicotine aspect. He has a company which is considered the gold standard. It's one of the 3 largest in the United States. When Ray came into that industry, there was no labeling, there was no compliance. He has worked with the FDA to establish what has now been promulgated as 241 pages of regulations that will be implemented over the next 2 years. We find ourselves in the same place in this new industry, in the cannabis industry. The labeling requirements, the testing requirements, the compliance is abysmal. What we intend on doing is Ray has developed certain standards which we'll be bringing to the industry. We will be sharing those with the industry. And for labeling, for example, rather there being what is now on the labels, percentages of we don't know what, we will require everyone that we process for to have proper labeling, and it will specifically state how many milligrams per gram of a specific cannabinoid, whether that be THC, whether it be CBD, CBN, is contained in each one of the products. This is especially important when it comes to edibles, because people are taking edibles now not knowing the quantities or what they're consuming, and they're having reactions to it. The second part of the gold standard that we will bring to the industry is testing. Ray and I visited in various testing facilities that have been licensed by the state of Colorado. After Ray discussed with them what he has developed as testing, each one of the companies or the labs we went to asked if we would work with them to create better standards. For example, no one in the industry is presently testing, other than us, for heavy metals. we are finding heavy metals in the cannabis plant because many of the companies used for fertilizers to grow those plants fish byproducts. Well, with what happened in Japan, in the bones of the fish now are things such as plutonium. Nobody's testing for that other than us. Ray's process will eliminate any heavy metals and any insecticides that are in the plant when we receive the plant. And so when it goes to the consumer, it will be a clean-based plant. The third part of our gold standards is standardization. There are various types of marijuana, various strains. The issue, as we see it, is there's no standardization. So you may get a product coming from the same strain, but it may vary from production to production. Our methods allow us to have standardization. So that's the second leg of the chair, is bringing these standards. The third leg is, after about 6 months in operation, we will be creating national brands at the highest level. We will have examined what we're doing in the licensing area. We will have consistency in place, and we will create a brand in each state where we open up one of our facilities, the first place being Colorado. We will be opening up in other states, which I'll discuss in a minute. As we go state by state, each state will have the same labeling of our brand, and at such time as the federal government does allow interstate commerce, we will be recognized from state to state and have created a national brand. So that's the third leg of the chair. The fourth leg of our chair is doing research and providing products first to children to help them with diseases that currently are not being addressed. Everyone, including our company, that is involved with our company, has agreed to take 10% of the profits and put them into a not-for-profit to explore the medical aspects of cannabis. I will share with you a story that's very close to me. I have a goddaughter that at 24 months was rated as high as a child could be rated on the autistic scale. By 32 months, she was almost catatonic when someone would walk into a room. No social aspect whatsoever. We put her on a cannabis regimen at, I think it was 42 months. She's now 54 months old, and she's mainstream in school. She still has, and she will always have, autism, but it has allowed her to have a functioning life. So this is a very important aspect of our company. I think all companies need to put back into society, not just take from society, and this will be our way of giving back. There's 160,000 children in the United States that have more than 10 epileptic fits a day. Research has shown that the proper compounding of cannabis for these children should eliminate 70%. That means we've got 70% of 160,000 kids once we develop the proper delivery systems for them that can live a normal life. This is very, very important that we pursue this. So those are the four legs of our chair. Let's talk about the opportunity, not just with Colorado, but what our business model is moving forward. Basically, what we have is very scalable. We go into a state like Colorado. We've done this now in Nevada, and basically in the Vegas area, and in Washington. And we meet with people that are knowledgeable within the state, that have a grow license, that have a conversion license. We don't want to reinvent the wheel, and we partner up with them going forward based upon our proprietary extraction and conversion facility that we can build. So we are in discussions with, both in Nevada and Washington, with various groups that want to partner with us. We will get the Colorado facility up and running, as I said, in the first quarter of next year. And we anticipate that sometime within the next 3 months, we will have signed an agreement with our next group of partners, and we'll start that facility. And again, right now, we will need to go state by state. The cost to build a facility is somewhere between $2 and $4 million, depending on what the needs will be as far as capacity is concerned. And you can, as I stated before, you can see what the return on that investment is. If the facility costs $3 million, and once it's up and running, based on today's pricing, we can do an EBITDA for every 1,000 pounds we process of $750,000 a month. The return on investment is better than any other opportunity that I've been involved with in my life. Darwin, I think that covers the things that I want to talk about. I'd like to open it up to any questions that anyone may have.
The first question, Jeff, is what companies are utilizing the extraction methodology you accredit your colleague for establishing?
No one else is. It is proprietary, and we have not, we have not, nor are we going to divulge the proprietary way in which we do it. So basically, when we went to do proof of concept, we went to companies in Colorado, grow companies that were doing their own extraction conversion, and actually one extraction company. And basically, they did their method, we did our method. We sent it off to various labs, and we saw that we could do a better, cleaner product, and as I said, able to extract double, 2 times the amount of delta-9 THC that they were able to extract from the processing that they were using. Let me, if I can, there's 3 basic types of extraction being used today. One is butane. Butane is dangerous. Things blow up with butane. But most importantly, it leaves a carcinogenic material in the product when you're finished. Some states have outlawed it. All states should outlaw it. The second process is CO2. That's high-pressure water. There's various companies that make the machines that do that. It's a pretty efficient method as far as extraction is concerned. But one of the things it does is I use the word, it emulsifies or changes the terpenes which are in the plant itself. We used to think the terpenes were just for taste. They're not. They are catalysts for other reactions within the plant when combined with THC and other things. So that's not a method that we believe is a good method, although it does do a good job as far as extraction, not at the conversion side. The third method is a chemistry method, which they use ethanol. Our method is closest to that. We do not use ethanol, and we have a third step to our process that no one else has that allows us to do what we do. That's why, as we speak, we're in contact with companies, and they're in contact with us that want us to do their extraction conversion for them. So I hope that answers the question.
Next question, Jeff. Are you any way associated with Cannabis Science Incorporated?
No, we are not associated with Cannabis Science Incorporated. Our company, our symbol is CLSH. Our company, holding company, which is the public company, is Cannabis Life Sciences Holdings. We have 2 subsidiaries. One is CLS Labs, That is the operational company in each state we go into. And we have something called CLS Consulting, because we've been asked to consult with various companies, and we will be setting up a consulting arm to consult with companies in various states with regard to their processes, not to give them our process, but for us to process for them and maybe help them with their genetics and what nutrients they use and things of that nature.
Next question, Jeff. Based on my findings, your product base appeared to be a little late. What strategies will you implement to secure brand awareness in the cannabis space?
Okay, good question. First of all, for all the white labeling we will be doing on everything we create, it will say that we are the creator of the product, meaning that powered by, it'll say CLS on it. So as we do this white labeling, we will create that awareness. The second thing is there's a few, but very few companies that are just now starting to establish brand awareness. But what we bring to the table that nobody else has been able to do to date, as I stated earlier, is the quality and consistency of the product. Nobody else is doing that. So where someone's product may be great one month, maybe the next month it's only good. One of the things I learned from having worked with Ray Kroc from McDonald's is you have to have a consistent product that no matter where you go or what time of day you get it, it is the same, and it has to be a good value. That's something that we're going to bring to the industry, and with Frank Koretsky's help, who I said is my branding and marketing genius, I think that there's a tremendous opportunity for a company such as ours to become the brand within the industry.
Next question, Jeff. In addition to the site you mentioned under construction in Colorado, what other hard assets do you have in your portfolio? Well,
we have the build-out that we're doing there, and of course all of the equipment that goes with it. The build-out in Colorado is going to come in at about $3.5 million. The most important thing we have is the intellectual property. The intellectual property, which is the proprietary method of doing the extraction conversion, is part of the company. Ray is developing other things, which I don't want to discuss at this time, but they are very significant. One is already being patented. And as each one of these things, as they relate to cannabis, become proven, they will become part of the assets of the public company that is by agreement with Ray. Anything he creates around cannabis or that can be used in the cannabis industry, we will be part of the company. I guess I will mention this. Ray has created for the e-cigarette market, the fluid market, a method of delivering the nicotine that does not use propylene glycol. Propylene glycol is what's currently being used within the products on the market today. When you burn propylene glycol at high temperature, it creates formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is something that's carcinogenic. It's well below the FDA standards, but no one really knows what those standards should be, because that industry is only 6 years old. So Ray's company has been selected by the FDA to do testing through NIH. He will be providing all of the e-liquid fluids for that test. Ray has created something that doesn't use propylene glycol, that uses an all-natural material that doesn't leave any carcinogenic materials whatsoever. When it comes to infusing marijuana or delta-9 THC into an e-liquid fluid for the cannabis industry, our public company will have the exclusive rights to this non-carcinogenic method. So that's just one example of the opportunity and the assets that we have that I believe sets us apart from any other company, public or private, in the industry today.
Next question, Jeff. You appear to be fairly confident with your revenue projections. What distribution channels has your company already established?
Okay. First of all, as I said, we don't have to establish distribution channels to start with, because we're going to be white labeling for companies that have distribution channels. For example, I took a trip with Alan to Washington, and we met with several companies that are very well branded within Washington, the state of Washington. They are looking for us to come to Washington and do their processing for them. Again, a better product, cleaner, with consistency, but they want to come to Colorado and bring their branding to Colorado. The facility we're building is a one-stop shop. We can provide everything from the plant all the way through extraction and conversion, and actually do the packaging for them. It is being built as a one-stop shop. They are eagerly awaiting us to start that process so they can bring their product there, and they're the ones really responsible for distribution. When we go ahead and start doing our own branding, we will have had the advantage then of the distribution, of being part of the distribution streams that these companies have already established. And then we will be able to go through those same distribution streams. I hope that answers the question. If not, I'm happy to do a follow-up.
Next question. Wasn't the number of each facility 10,000 pounds monthly?
No. The Colorado facility, we are building it so we can process 5,000 pounds a month on one shift and 10,000 pounds a month on two shifts. As far as our financial projections are concerned, I go very, very conservative. So our financial projections are based upon us processing 1,000 pounds a month within 12 months of us being operational. I believe it'll be more than that, but that's what we did our projections on. So again, if we do 1,000 pounds a month, and we annualize that over 12 months, it produces EBITDA of $9 million, and that would be on $21 million of revenues.
Next question, Jeff. When will the company report its first sales?
We will be operational the first quarter of next year. So that's when we will start reporting our sales. As I said, that will coincide with the grow, which should be under plant within the next 30 days. So when they harvest their first grow, we will be able to process that and take in other product from other companies to do our white labeling.
How many ounces of oil can be extracted from 1,000 pounds of plant?
That question can't be answered. It depends on what the oil is, what it's being used for, and what's contained within the plant itself. There's all kinds of different CBD, CBN, THC. So again, when we did our testing, we just compared plant to plant on what we were able to derive in Delta-9 THC from the same plant as other people. So for us, it's not a matter of how much oil, it's what's contained within the plant as far as the cannabinoids and what we can extract as far as those, what exists within the plant through our method. So again, the simple rule of thumb, on average, for every 1,000 pounds of plant we process, that produces cannabinoids on average that will allow us to net EBITDA $700,000 to $750,000.
Next question, how much do you need in short-term funding and long-term funding, and how are you planning to raise the capital?
Okay. This is something that we've been self-funding through myself and my partners. We are prepared to get CLS up and going in Colorado, and then there will be a significant amount of cash flows. I took a trip to New York, my second trip. We are in the process of discussing various investment bankers, individuals and family funds, additional funding. It's not public yet, so I cannot say anything, but those monies would be used to facilitate the second, third, and fourth plant on an expedited basis.
So, next question. So there are growers that you currently have relationships with that will assure your conservative projections? I guess that's a question. So there are growers
the answer is yes. Based upon the growers that we've talked with, including, again, the people that Alan brings to the table, the demand is much greater than the 1,000 pounds that we project we'll be doing, within a 12-month period of time.
Next question. Will you try and patent the extraction process?
We're in the process of patenting it, and thank you for the question. I should have touched on this. There's something under the patent law where you can file a patent without revealing what it is to the public, and you don't have to reveal it until such time as the patent is ready to issue. We don't know if we will get a patent at this time yet, since cannabis is still federally illegal. The patent office, we asked for an indication and they would not give us one. So we are going through the patent process. If we can't get it patented until it becomes federally legal, we will keep it as a trade secret, just as Coca-Cola keeps their formula as a trade secret. The plant is being designed in 3 separate areas. It will require both iris and a tag to get into each of the areas. That only the plant manager will be allowed into all 3 of the areas. So we're very sensitive to keeping our process proprietary to us. We are hopeful that the patent office will issue the patent.
Okay, Jeff, that concludes our Q&A. Any last comments regarding CLS Holdings USA?
Well, again, I would just like to thank all of you for joining me in this webinar. We appreciate your time. We know how valuable it is. At the beginning, I gave you an email address for me. I'll repeat it now. If anyone has any additional questions or anyone wants a copy of the slide presentation that we're seeing today, we'll be happy to accommodate you. Again, my email address is Jeff, Jeff, at clslabs.com.
And Jeff, right quick, we just had 2 more questions come in, so we got time to answer those. So
hey, let me just catch my breath.
Okay. The question is, what about a patent on the tobacco process?
That's something that is being done now. And once that is patented, again, that patent, as it applies by agreement, as it applies to the cannabis industry, meaning any e-liquid fluid that's infused with any of the cannabinoids within the cannabis plant, we will have, that will belong to the public company.
Are there patents held for the tobacco process for e-cigs?
That's what I just stated. They've been applied for, and it's in the process of being patented.
Okay. Are there any plans for international expansion?
As a matter of fact, we are talking to a group outside of the United States. As it stands right now, you cannot import anything into the United States that contains THC. You can bring in some CBDs if it contains less than 0.03%. So we're talking to someone outside the United States with regards to CBD. There's so much opportunity right now in the United States that with regard to THC and other things, although we've been contacted, for example, by a group out of Canada, we're going to concentrate right now on the opportunities in the United States, with the exception of this one country we're talking to with regard just to CBDs.
Well, that concludes our presentation, Jeff. We really want to thank you for your presentation. Our next presenter is Craig Goodwin of Naturally Splendid Enterprises. He will be presenting at the top of the hour. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Darwin. Thank you all. Have a good day.